who said that the child is Lee Dong-hye's. Man's originally gloomy expression shows a hint of surprise, and his grip loosened a little. Noticing his expression changing, you finally realized what kind of serious matter you have exposed. Your already pale face became even paler. You quickly retreated back and was about to leave the room, but the man firmly grabbed your arm to stop you from escaping. What did you just say? Say it again. Your heart is little miss. What if you give in this time? You were thinking about the spoiler in the future. Speak clearly. He became a little aggressive. If the child is not Lee Dong-hae's, then you closed your eyes tight, interrupting him. John Jungkook, you really want to know? No matter who it is, it will not belongs to you. Do you understand? The child was not belongs to him. It's never his. Yes, how can he forget that? When you came to the John family, you were pregnant, even he did nothing. His heart couldn't process the burning inside, it's going to explode. The pain in his eyes was obvious as he tightened his grip around your arm. You yelped in pain. It hurts, let go. Are you crazy? You will gonna snap my arm. Women, I value you so much. Even you had child with another man. I loved you, but you are so shameless. Whose child is this? Whose it is? Blocking your voice, you forcefully pushed him away, that you also fell on the bed. But the man was like a mountain. This lady's strength wasn't that strong. He immediately grabbed your hands and pinned you on the bed, trapping between him. Jungkook let go. Your nail scratches his face. He grabbed your hands with his one hand, putting on the above. If you don't want to get involved with me, then I will. If you don't want to have my child, then you must be pregnant with mine. You want to take a pills, then think if I give permission. Absolutely not. You should know my woman is only mine. Tears streamed down as you struggled. He is forcing you. When you are forced by a person you love, breaking apart with him is even more complicated than a regular one because while your anger and disgust at this person is strong, the love you once had for this individual is still there. Your heart and mind had a long, hard drawn out battle over this man's existence in your universe. Only when you moved to a new part of world you did finally realize that he was in fact haunting you, your mind and soul and heart. Supposed to leave the baggage in the past, most importantly, we are supposed to take away a lesson learned. But what is the lesson here? What did you learn from this relationship? When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And if the person they turn out to be is a devil to your soul, don't be afraid to run like all hell and not look back. If force occurs in a relationship, even just once, leave him. That type of disregarding of your consent in evidence of a much deeper problem, one that Yuda is under no obligation to solve. You couldn't even think of a man touching you after what had happened, let alone trust want to do so. You were heavily conflicted, tortured, and traumatized. Too traumatized to let someone else in who had the possibility of doing the exact same thing like in the past. You were raped by a stranger who you supposed him. Yes, you did finally realize how dumb you were. The worst question of all was possible. Did he ever realize it himself and really love you? Did he ever really care? Or was you just the nearest warm body for him to relate? Possibly like many women before who became victim of someone's desires. Are you willing to be humiliated on the stand just so that you can let a broken justice system teach him a lesson? For years, you wrestled between heart and mind as to who he truly was. Was he a good person or a bad? You couldn't seem to accept the fact that he was both. We like to categorize people in our minds. We want them to fit into nice, neat boxes for our own sanity and comfort. This question of who he was weighs heavy on your person and leads to the ultimate question: love or hate? He, being both between hater and lover, holds the key to the answers that could free you, or maybe not. Maybe the fact that he was an old flame makes you feel as though you could actually ask these questions, and that's why you have them in the first place. Why he forced you, why he's still keeping you, was this love or just a merely obsession? Why did he do that? What did he think when you keep seeing him after it happened? Did the thought of what he had done ever go through his mind? But most importantly, why couldn't he wait? Why did he need to have you at that exact moment you were broken and drunk? Just think, one day, the love of your life forcing you, and it took you decades to really acknowledge the emotional pain, like you have been haunted by this person and can never discuss it with him. In the past, ever since it happened, you haven't been able to admit to yourself that you actually had feelings for him, as that felt like admitting what happened wasn't real. You want to live with him. Was it wrong to love someone who attempted to force you and even wanted to keep you by himself and even want them? But that doesn't change the meaning of the word no. He chose to ignore it. The women's feelings for him don't change that even these women resist him. He wanted Jungkook, don't touch me. You give him a cold, detached look. The moment he realized what he was doing was too late to return, where he started to make comfortable zone for this woman in his heart. He was so lost into his anger and jealousy. Sadness, he is the cause of this woman crying in front of him. He never thought of making you cry, but what he is doing now is only hurting the one he loved. The door was pushed open as Jungkook brought a bowl of porridge to you. You didn't look back at him and stayed silent. You're too quiet since earlier. He sat beside you and drank full spoon porridge. Eat it. Why this person wasting his energy here? Did he think that past doesn't matter to him? He brought spoon near your lips. You raised your eyes to look at him coldly. Why? Your voice was soft, like you don't have strength to even talk. You frowned. Why? Back then you wanted to drive me away from you, but now you're trying to imprison me by your side. Do you not think of me as a human being at all? Did he really want to control you like puppet that comes to him at any time? His eyes darkened, the thoughts of past. What about you? I asked you to come to the banquet. Why didn't you come? Why didn't you go to the banquet? Why? You remembered the accident on the way back to banquet? If Junghan hadn't protected you, then you probably wouldn't have been able to get to the banquet. Unfortunately, even you went, you hadn't seen Jungkook, but when you did it was already late. Even though you didn't give up and went to Itaewon's Hejangvilla, wanting to explain everything to him, but he didn't give you a chance to say a single word. Now, what face did he have to ask? You only wanted to laugh thinking about it. You stared at him with your red eyes. How did you know I did not go? The faint red at the corner of your eyes matched with the man's redness. As his eyes were only fixed on you, you went. He scanned your expression like something he wants to know about the fact. Did you really went to the banquet that night? This answer is very impossible to him. You turn your face straight, not wanting to answer it. This question was not important for you anymore. So what's with discussing it now? Answer me. He grabbed your shoulders and turned you to face him. With the sadness in his eyes and pain in his voice, tell me, did you go to the banquet that night? Is that important? You asked back instead with a mocking smile. Why do you want to be merciful and forgive me after I have been there? Or do you want to torture me twice, just like before, because I have never been there? You scoffed. This matter is no longer important. You haven't seen me there, and I haven't gone there. What was important for you is you went to Villa and he refused to see you even through the contract. His heart beat. Now he knew how stupid he is. You actually went and probably didn't find him there. If you didn't went, then why would you wait for him outside the Hagen Villa? The moment he had just arrived and Limino rushed to told him about your arrival, but still his anguish made his mind not to say this woman. After knowing that he went to see other men behind his back, it was a pity that you didn't know what day it was. But that banquet night was really important for him. If you couldn't make it at that night, he might find excuses to forgive you. But when he got the news of you going out with his nominal brother, his blood boiled. The women should be by his side at that moment of his, but what she did at the time, Jung Han's feelings towards you could be said to be openly booked. Everyone knew about it and talked about it, even at the company. So when Jungkook asked you to go banquet with him, you chose to lie and went to meet Jung Han instead. At that night, Jungkook really wanted to ask if you have any feelings for him and tell that he do the same that day. Was his mother's birthday and that day he taken seat in the Jones group as a president, his first victory. He wanted to publicize this woman's identity and let everyone know that this woman is his, John Jungkook's. No one could ship and pair her other than him and bully her, but he failed. Who is Jung Han, the son of women who destroyed Jungkook's mother's family? You knew that man's original purpose very well. Jung Han's mother ruined Jungkook's mother's happiness and Jungkook's. So Jungkook really didn't find any reason to forgive you at that moment. Even after he asked, you still went to meet Jung Han. So Jungkook thought that you also liked Jung Han. Then why would he force this woman to stay by his side? Perhaps it was because of his jealousy that he lost his mind and did those things. When there was no trace of women, Jungkook finally realized how stupid he was. He never seen you with Jung Han after that night, and Jung Han also searched for you. Only then he came to his sense that the woman is his. He wanted to say it all, but when he saw the difference between your bros, he stopped. You didn't care about it anymore. Then what was the point of his words now? Keep you by his side by willing or forcing. It's fine if you don't want to say it. Let's eat first. He had asked his chef to specially cook it. Even you're hungry, you refuse to eat when he fed you. I don't want to eat. You lay down on the bed pulling blanket to cover yourself, but he pulled your cover down. Not want to eat. Are you sure you have strength to give birth later? He raised his brow. You didn't expect him to say it. You're mad and ignore him pretending to sleep. Are not you eating or you dislike the way I fed you? You just closed your eyes, not paying attention to him. He made some noises behind you. You felt like bed sinking and he turned you around and pulled your arm, then he pinched your chin. Right opening your mouth, your eyes widened. The porridge he put into his mouth was passed to you. He didn't pull away until you eat the porridge and gulp down. Your strength didn't match with him. You made disgust face. Both of you had shared numerous kisses, but it was first time eating food by his mouth. It was a little disgusting that you almost forget After a good time, he pulled himself away and licked his lips in satisfaction and stared down at you with cold eyes. Eat it yourself, or should I continue to feed you? You immediately shake your head in fear of him continuing his action. I will eat myself. He was not mad. His eyes were concentrated on your lips as if he wanted more. Clearly, he enjoyed it. You fiercely glared at him, stopping him to think about this again, and sad to take the bowl, but he grabbed it first and scooped the spoon and bring it to your mouth again to feed you. This man, after hypnotized for a while, you open your mouth and let him feed you. It was better than using his mouth to feed you at least. When the warm food entered your system, your weakness improved and you reached out to take the bowl and drink it directly. He probably saw through you and didn't force you and pass the bowl to you. After drinking, you passed the bowl to him and take it. He was about to get up but leaned on you. You moved a little back and stopped as he put his hand on your cheek. You stared at him, gulping down the saliva. He slightly smiled. Don't be afraid, I will not eat you just yet. He packed things and left the room. You blinked and sighed. This man is really scary. He actually tortured you to this extent, taking advantage of man's absence. You quickly get on from the bed and searches for the bottle that contains birth control pills. You squat down to look under bed and most of the corner, but you didn't find it. You thought he threw it during argument. You looked around, it should be in this room, as you didn't thought he took it with him. You heard a footsteps and you immediately went to lay it on the bed, pretending like nothing happened. He came in with his laptop and notebook and found a seat and opened his notebook to work. You didn't expect it. He wants to work here. Is he planning to stay with you 24 hours? You are in bad mood and cover your face and open the social media to check it. You don't know if the medicine would work it or not. You just wanted to take it again to make sure you don't get pregnant. If Jungkook keep guiding you like this, then how would you gonna get that medicine? You thought of asking Jenny to deliver, but what if Jungkook find out? You were frustrated and felt tired. Not long after, he sensed the silence breathe. He raised his head and looked at the woman, covering head to sleep, curling up. He frowned and put work aside and went near you. He pulled the thin blanket down and adjusted it on you. He froze on your sleeping figure, wondering how the hell he had the courage to hurt most beautiful creature he ever seen back then. People say love could easily drive everyone crazy. Somehow he realized that if we love someone, we're supposed to protect them, not hurting over and over again. He took a deep breath as he carefully examined your face, drilling down his eyes and paused on your lips. He wanted to touch it, but didn't dare to extend his hand. Afraid of waking you up, he went out to living room and turned on the Bluetooth connecting with your call. How's it going? Other line man looked serious as he reported. People we catch confessed it already. They were sent to kidnap Madam, sat by the detective men, flipping the papers. Purpose?